Devotion is not effortful, but it is what the Kriya lineage calls intense. It's an intensity factor. Devotional sincerity allows us to be with what is arising in a very focused, loving, and embodied way. It includes the observer and the witnessing element without any trace of distance. That's the key. Devotional sincerity has a flavor. The language is trying to point to there's an intimacy and a closeness to the way that we practice the ritual, any ritual. We're putting ourselves in a position of our body-mind. We're putting ourselves, yes, in a witnessing position, but not witnessing from a distance, from deep, deep inside the experience. So it's like really learning a recipe. If you follow the recipe robotically, you may produce what the recipe intends. But if you really want to really become a cook, you want to become close and intimate, familiar with the ingredients, and begin to let the ingredients guide you to create the dish that is going to be truly nourishing and truly unexpected like that. So devotional sincerity is a key element, and we'll know that our devotional sincerity is wavering if we're checking, if too often, when we're doing pretty much whenever, if we're checking, is it working? It's quite natural to want to check if it's working. That's a signal to come back to the devotional sincerity. Thomas Merton, speaking in the language of his Catholic faith, which was very theistic, obviously, he says he trained his students with this idea, a little bit of sincerity goes a long way with God. So it's not about doing it perfectly, he's pointing out. It's not about being mechanical and having all the techniques right. It's about our loving engagement with the process. And we are only doing the ritual at all deeper than our part that wants to fix. Deeper than that, if we can tune into our soul, which our soul remembers remembers the experience of presence in the midst of becoming. Our soul remembers what it's like to live as that balanced, self-conscious awareness in the midst of life cycles. And our soul also remembers that we don't have the full capacity to sustain that blissful way of being. And that's why we're here. And that's why we're meeting our current evolutionary challenge. It is the practice field for us to cultivate that deeper capacity, the capacity to abide in presence in the midst of this particular archetypal dynamic.